Hello, Tom Fresa here from the Naval History and Heritage Command, and we hope you are finding the Maryland Fleet Week virtual experience fun, educational, and exciting. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is the Naval History and Heritage Command? Well, to put it simply, we are the Navy's History Department. We're tasked with collecting, preserving, and maintaining the Navy's history, archives, and collection, and we have 10 museums located across the country, including one that's located in Annapolis, Maryland, at the Naval Academy. In fact, it is the Naval Academy Museum. Now, as you know, in a few days we will be commemorating the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II. We have put together a video featuring artifacts from World War II that are currently on display at the Naval Academy Museum. We hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions or want more information, please visit the website of the Naval History and Heritage Command, history.navy.mil.
Today, on A History of the Navy in 100 Objects, we look at a snapshot of the scene aboard USS Missouri on the 2nd of September, 1945, as the Japanese surrendered to General MacArthur, Supreme Commander of the Allied Powers. After General MacArthur signed the surrender document, he was followed by Admiral Chester Nimitz, signing on behalf of the United States. It is Nimitz's signing that is recreated here. Claude Barabee, the director of the U.S. Naval Academy Museum, gives us a closer look.
This exhibit on the first deck of the Naval Academy Museum represents a moment in time, one of the most significant periods and moments in World War II history. It is the signing of the surrender treaty with Japan at the end of World War II on September 2nd, 1945. The event was held aboard the battleship USS Missouri in the middle of Tokyo Bay, and the ship was anchored not too far from where Commodore Matthew Perry had anchored his ships more than 80 years before. What we see in this moment of time is Admiral Chester Nimitz in his uniform. He is using one of the two surrender pens that were used that day. The surrender treaty itself is a copy, but when Admiral Nimitz came to the museum in 1960, he actually took the pen and signed his name. So that's actually his signature on this. Most notably, you'll see this table. Again, an iconic image from our naval history. But where did it start? The captain of the USS Missouri recounts the story. About 15 minutes before the Japanese delegation was set to arrive aboard the USS Missouri, they realized that they had a beautiful mahogany table and two beautiful chairs that they had set up for this very distinguished and somber event. Unfortunately, they saw the surrender treaties, and there had to be a couple of surrender treaties side by side so they could sign them. The mahogany table wouldn't fit and accommodate those treaties. So the race was on. They charged down, the captain and another officer charged down to the mess decks where the cook was cleaning up after breakfast. And they threw everything off of that last table, that was a folding table, and they brought that up to the deck of the Missouri. But as they're heading up, they passed the wardroom, and they realized that they needed a cover, something for this table. So they took the first table cloth they found in the wardroom. Unfortunately, it hadn't been washed, so people asked later, why didn't you get something that was clean, that didn't have coffee stains on it? So this very significant moment in time was almost haphazard at the very last minute. Now, sometimes when visitors come and see this exhibit of Admiral Chester Nimitz signing the surrender treaty, they'll notice that he's missing a finger. And some people ask if it's broken. Well, it's not. When the museum was renovated and reopened in 2009, Admiral Chester Nimitz was put in his uniform. We got a lifelike mannequin after the renovation. Well, when his granddaughter came in, she told my predecessor, that looks just like my grandfather Chester, except he's got all of his fingers. And in doing more research, we realized that he had lost part of his ring finger as a junior officer in an accident early in his career. So when we found out about this accident that Nimitz had had as a junior officer, we removed the ring finger so that it was more appropriate historically to represent Admiral Nimitz.
It is the scene displayed here, with many artifacts present on that historic day, that ended the bloodiest conflict in human history. The Naval Academy Museum is proud to show this piece of history, and we hope you can join us here in Annapolis to step back in time yourself. Thank you for joining us this week on A History of the Navy in 100 Objects.